Hey there, welcome to the Motor Asha podcast. On this episode, we talk to Yogesh Mishra from Mechanics Motorrad. Our topic for today is intake and exhaust, the system, the components to it, as well as what you can do to both these to make your motorcycle run better.
I am Yogesh, and see, it's been like 21 years now in this same industry of service, repairs, and major works of our superbikes. Yes, all kinds of bikes related to vintage, uh, two strokes, four strokes, everything has gone.
You've been servicing them
Yeah,
for 21 years now.
21 years now.
Okay. But these are all premium motorcycles that you've
All
been
premium.
doing? Okay. So I think we got you on this one because there's a lot of technical aspects of a motorcycle that a lot of people are not aware. And we thought we'd dive into things like intake, exhaust, which is also very interesting because a lot of people don't know about what can be done to an intake system or an exhaust system to make your bike run better. So let me ask you, what does the intake system in particular do for the motorcycle? So just what do you?
See, basically, intake system is. See, basically, I'll just. Intake is like breathing. So, like we sit normally, we breathe low. If we are doing some exercise or we are running around or we are exerting our bodies, so we need more air, more our breathing rate, the heart rate, everything goes up. So like that in motorcycles also, the breathing works the same way. So intake of a motorcycle, it consists of a airbox, then air filters, then the ports, then the valves, then it goes to the engine for ignition. So its valvings are there and all these components work together to give a very precise output. So it's all governed with what do you say? Very
So it's a very systematic.
this thing means level of engineering is there in that. So earlier old bikes had only one valve per intake and one valve for exhaust. Now then it went to two, then it went to three, four. Now there are some engines which run on 5 valve system. So 5 valves means 3 for intake, 2 for exhaust. So like that. So the things have changed a lot, quite a lot from old to new. But the basic concept remains the same. Intake is a very a very systematic design, very systematic way of managing a motorcycle's performance. So the thing is, if your intake works properly, the entire system works correctly and systematically.
So what are the components? Not for somebody who's experienced in this, but if I was a layman, what are the components that I see in front of me as an intake system? Is it just the air filter, or is there something else that I can like? Do a lot of people understand what are the intakes for the layman? What does he have to worry about?
Okay. So see, basically for a layman, if you speak, intake consists of only two things. First is the air filter, and other is now the bikes are running with throttle bodies, fuel injection, fuel management systems. So basically, a layman has to check his air filter regularly. In Indian climatic conditions, which is said to be around 3,500 to 5,000 kilometers, air filter has to be checked. So anybody can do it. It's not a very complicated thing. So just checking the air filter. So air filters are, if some bikes come, all the stock bike have a paper element air filter. So the air filter catches the dirt which is sucked inside from the air ducts and the this thing. Then it's filtered via the air filter and sent into the throttle bodies and that air what do you call it,
To the engine.
through the to the
Manifold
engine.
and all that. Okay.
Manifold and all that. So basically, the air filter is the most basic thing that this person or owner of the motorcycle or a layman he can understand. Just by a visible check, he can come to know. Remove the air filter. A paper element OEM air filter will be completely dusty. If you just tap it lightly on the ground, you can see the dust coming out. So paper elements are like that. The aftermarket air filters is like KNN, DNA or BMC or etc. whatever are there. You can make it out whether it's filled or not just by looking at it. Just hold that filter in a light. You can see if light passes through clearly. Means you can see it's filled or it's okay to use like that. So basically, air filter is the most important part of an intake. If it is clogged, air will not go inside properly, and the combustion and all that things will not work properly. Means the bike will not perform at its optimum level.
What
Like
can go wrong if your air filter is clogged and you've been riding a lot of kilometers still on it? Like, can something go wrong in the engine? There's a few...
Engine, wrong means what will happen is in this fuel management motorcycles, they have very like sensors are there which can detect the amount of airflow. So once the air filter is blocked, the amount of airflow, means it's called as an air mass sensor or an air temperature sensor or like that. They work in correlation with other sensors to provide the optimum level of fuel input via the injectors. So once the air filter is blocked and know the quantity of air, the air box is designed according to the volume of air which can be used and utilized at all the throttle ranges of a motorcycle. So if you are riding at city limits, say like 2000 rpm, cruising in cities and all that, you might not find much difference even with a clogged air filter. Yes, a motorcycle rider who is used to his motorcycle and he rides that motorcycle very frequently, he might instantly know that the bike is not performing as it was performing with a clean air filter. But many people I have seen, they don't even come to know that the air filter is blocked and the bike is not performing. They just come and say like, what it was running before, it's not running like that. That's the old, like layman's this thing. But the basic thing is the air filter is blocked. But once you open the throttle, then the bike starts showing its symptoms like it's not working properly. The air is not coming in. So air is not coming in, fuel management won't calculate the amount of air which is needed, the volume of air which should be given to the engine to work properly, cuts down. Once the air cuts down, the management senses the fuel cuts down. So this is happening with all the new technology motorcycles. But if somebody is using an old technology motorcycle, EFI only, fuel injection, old systems didn't have that. Old system used to push in the amount of fuel according to the throttle opening. So what happens in that thing, if your air filter is clogged and if more fuel goes in, it doesn't burn. So deposit starts building up in the combustion chamber, the carbon buildup is there and all that thing happens. Then the spark plug starts fouling. In new management system, the airflow is restricted. The management senses it via the sensors and all that. It cuts on the fuel delivery.
Okay. So I think so let's see from a service perspective, what are the things that need service, and at what intervals are those parts or components of an intake system need to be serviced?
So, as I said, that basic is a air filter. Basic is air filter has to be clean. So, in city driving conditions, or people like who go for a Sunday ride, only Sunday ride they do. They use the motorcycles for only Sunday ride. So those peoples can run up to 5,000 kilometers till the air filter starts clogging because of all dust conditions. Basic problem is dust. In our roads condition, dust is a very big issue. So 5,000 kilometers for Sunday riders, but who uses the bike regularly is, I would say, like 3,500 to 4,000 kilometers. At least clean the air filter, which is very important. Even if they don't do anything, just clean the air filter, because air filter will be clogged.
Okay.
So just get it clean, and the bike works well.
Okay. So under the intake system, I think the throttle body also comes in.
Yeah, throttle body is there. Throttle body is like it's now if you say for a layman, what he can see, the throttle body is visible anyway. So like 80% of motorcycles, once the airbox is open to access the air filter, the throttle body is directly visible.
Yeah.
Other 20% bikes, the throttle body is not visible. So throttle body, you can make it out from the butterflies. So some bikes have direct butterflies, some have a secondary butterfly which controls the amount of air going in. So you can see the dust on that throttle body. You can see it. So with fly-by-wire system, once you open the throttle, that main butterfly, the main butterfly does not open.
Yeah.
But in secondary, you can just move it with your hand and see. You can see the dust clogged inside because of the this thing. So it can be cleaned with some care and with a good quality cloth, clean cloth. You can clean it.
Yeah.
But it's just for a but from a service point of view, it has to be opened and dismantled completely and then clean and fit. But this happens after a very long time.
How many kilometers would you say?
So it's like around 10,000 plus kilometers. So once it is done, so 10,000 kilometers you don't have to do in city.
Yeah.
In all Sunday riders bike, all bikes that are this thing. What I have seen is the bikes which are used frequently, till 15 to 20,000 kilometers does not require one. Because it's
automatically cleaning it through all fuel.
Automatically cleaning it.
Okay. So let's. I think the last part to the intake is the kind of mods, or the kind of a performance mod on an intake system can be what?
So the performance mod technically means, see, there are many mods. But basic, I'll just tell you. Basic mod is just change the air filter.
So you mean the free flow filters?
Just put a free flow air filter.
Okay.
Why I say that, many people question me that if I put a aftermarket exhaust, and then can I run on a stock air filters? It's no. Because aftermarket exhaust it's an aftermarket free flow exhaust.
Okay.
If the exhaust is free flow, then how can you use a stock air filter? Air filter is, that's why you need an aftermarket air filter, which is also a free flow air filter. Free flow means it does not allow dust to go in. It has
it's a more sophisticated system of filter.
So it has a filter media which can give more air, volume of air which can be used. Pulled in is more.
So do you believe that the snorkel placement makes a difference? Is the snorkel placement? Basically, I want to try to say that there's a lot of. I've seen a lot of bikes that have a snorkel right below your seat, but there's nothing. There's not enough air mass. There's not enough airflow. There's a lot of mods. I think I saw a 790 Adventure where the snorkel they elongate it and take it out to the tail somewhere. So do those make a difference to the intake?
Yes, they do. They do make difference. The difference is like. See, these all are what you call it's not like means normal riding conditions. It's like a type of racing performance.
It's gone to performance.
Mode. So increasing the length of snorkel is like pulling. It takes effort for that the engine to suck in the air. So it's like if you increase the length of snorkel, it's going to use, it's like what you call a resonator type.
Yeah,
Means
makes
it
sense.
has buffer of air, kept pockets of air which have been sucked inside, kept, stored,
Yeah.
and then it goes in. So that's why a long snorkel always gives a more fluent term.
Okay. So it does make
So
a difference.
it doesn't make a difference. People, once you increase the length of snorkel, so it gives a more low end torque. But for higher end, for wide open throttles,
Yeah.
you will feel that the bike is surging, means it's not working properly.
Okay. Sure. So I think the intake part you've explained really well. I don't want to go to the engine part, which is doing all the job, but let's go to the exhaust part. There's a lot of myths on if I put an exhaust, my bike will perform better. So let's start off with the components of the exhaust first, and then we'll go to the service part of it, and then the mods that can be done to make your bike run better and perform better. So what are the components of an exhaust system?
Yeah, so exhaust basically has a main bend pipes, means headers. There is a more fancy name to that, headers. So aftermarket headers. See, basically there are headers. All the machines which run on petrol have headers.
Yeah.
You ride 100 cc, you ride a 50 cc, you ride 1000, 2000, 4000, whatever cc has a headers. Exhaust pipes has header. It has headers to get the exhaust gases out of the motorcycle into the atmosphere. So exhaust valves, ports open, gases come out, goes into the headers then sends it to the mufflers and it's out.
Yeah.
So basic thing is, you can say it consists of a header, then it consists of a catcon,
Yeah.
which is called a catalytic converter
Uh-huh.
to lower the emissions, buffer the sound. Then the muffler, which also again has, many bikes have a pre and post
Yeah.
catalytic converters. So exhaust silence, the muffler has a catalytic converter plus baffles plus,
Yeah.
so like that. So all the stock bikes, whatever are available, are silent.
Yeah.
So many people who ride a super bike, they need an exhaust. Two things. First thing, total layman needs sound. He needs to show that he has a super bike,
Yeah.
because that it should make a sound. People should know it's a super bike.
Yeah.
That's one. Second thing, the most important thing why a super bike needs a loud exhaust is because a super bike speeds for other guys who ride normal motorcycles, if that super bike is coming or it's crossing somebody or it's going, it's coming from behind, they should know that something is coming from behind or something is coming from
Yeah.
up front.
Yeah.
If you don't have an exhaust, silent bike, the super bike run on a very high speed. People here who cross the roads, they don't understand that something with such a speed can come so close.
Yeah.
But if they have aftermarket exhaust, it makes it's audible. People can know something is coming, so they are aware.
Yeah.
So that is the most important part, that I would say that each and every superbike should have an aftermarket exhaust,
You think so?
which should make
Yeah.
sound, not noise.
Yeah.
Noise is disturbing, sound is beautiful.
Yeah.
So it should make some sound. So like that.
But is it a performance upgrade? Is an aftermarket, not the whole exhaust, but is a aftermarket slip-on a performance upgrade?
Yes, it is a performance upgrade. It is of course a performance upgrade. As I said while we were discussing on the intake, that on the stock air filter it will not give you any feedback. Means it's you have to be really pro to understand. You have really got some increase in the power output.
Yeah.
So aftermarket exhaust will give you a performance it will give you a quicker throttle response. It will give you a low end torque.
Yeah.
Why it will give you? Because the gases which are built up, and engine is the exhaust gas, the exhaust pressure. It needs some pressure to push it
Yeah.
come out of that this thing. There is a work going on there. So all the work which is going on has some friction.
Yeah.
Even if it is gas related, it has some friction in there. Why you put a free flow? Free flow just goes out. It just
Yeah.
वो exit करता है ना.
But there's no impact on the engine to have a free flow.
No.
Does that?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. It's yeah. Many people have said that putting a stock air filter,
Will blow your walls.
This, aftermarket exhaust
Yeah.
will blow off my walls. Yes, it will. 100% it will if you put a replica.
Okay.
See, exhaust headers. If you observe an exhaust header of any motorcycle, it has some designs on it.
Yeah.
It's not like just going like that. It has a curve. It has a shape. It is calculated.
Yeah.
So all the calculations where you use head, you need to pay money.
Yeah.
So aftermarket, see, recently I had a SC project exhaust.
Yeah.
One guy SC got an SC project for his Triumph Daytona. So SC project, he said I got it for 15,000 rupees. I said, boss, don't put it. See why I'll tell you, it looks replica is a replica. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
15,000 rupees exhaust, and the original goes up to 50,000 rupees. The problem is the engineering which has gone into it, the quality of material the original exhaust uses or the original manufacturer uses, the quality of material. It is such design. Even if you copy the exact specification, but you don't use the material,
Yeah.
it will give you a wrong this thing. What do you call it?
Pressure.
Pressure.
So let me get this right. So the header, if we take the header is designed in such a way that the amount of air that needs to come out, the amount of the flow of air,
Yeah.
the kind of back pressure is all calculated.
It's all calculated.
Okay. So it is not just like they've put 3 pipes
No.
and put it together.
No.
Okay.
It's all calculated. It's 100%. It is in the engine. When you design an engine, the most important aspect of an engine design
Yeah.
after you build an engine.
Yeah.
So I'll just explain a little bit technical. Once you design an engine, designing the bottom means the cylinder block, the pistons,
Yeah.
the crankshaft, and clutch assembly and gear assembly. That is the bottom end.
Yeah.
Top end is the head.
Yeah.
So designing bottom end is 1 day's job. This is an example.
Yeah.
Is 1 day's job.
Yeah.
But designing a head, which is a top end, it takes 10 days.
Yeah.
In that 10 days, designing intake port takes 5 days. Designing an exhaust port takes 5 to 6 days.
Yeah. A little longer.
Little longer. Because exhaust is the most important part of the motorcycle, that no unburnt fuel which is ignited,
Yeah.
it should not stay inside. It should come out completely.
Makes
So
sense.
for that to come out completely, the head has been designed according to the ports. The head ports are designed and calculated so that it throws out everything. But once it throws out, it should go into the header, and the header should also throw it out. It should not keep anything. So once everything comes out, the bike is absolutely fine. Now people will understand with this example, that is, many bikes, when you deaccelerate, it gives you pat, that sound,
Yeah.
backfiring. That is all the unburned fuel which stays inside, and it ignites.
But it needs to come out.
It needs to come out. There are many different technical aspects. Even with all good designs also. Earlier my bike didn't do that. Now my bike is doing that. So that is a different part. That is a service part completely. But basically what I'm saying is, if the systems are not working properly, everything has to work systematically and perfectly for the engine and the motorcycle to perform perfectly.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So performance comes starts right from idling. How the motorcycle idles, how it catches every 500 RPM till the red line. The motorcycle should perform. It should give the graph which you plot, which has to be absolutely correct, absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
For that, everything has to be perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm gonna come back to that point of a replica slip-on, the SC project story that you have come up with. Let's say the headers were stock. I mean, there's a lot of people who I know also have put, a replica, not an exhaust system, but just a muffler part of it, just the end can. And the question that I want to ask you is, is that also dangerous?
Absolutely dangerous.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because it looks, for a lot of people, for a layman, it looks like the same size of a can.
Yeah.
And a replica also looks like the size of a can. So what is the engineering that goes in there that can spoil the bike? Is it the kind of flow that is coming out?
Yes.
Does the end of it have to have a kind of, a design that doesn't let air just come off? Is there, what engineering goes there?
Yeah. So I will explain it with an example. I hope people will understand. If you don't understand, you tell me, I'll give you another example.
Okay.
So thing is, say you say a bore diameter of the internal diameter of one exhaust. Say we have taken SC, so take an SC. So SC is internal ID, means internal diameter of that exhaust, which is, say you take it as 20 mm.
Yeah.
Material going in is titanium, stainless steel, glass wool of top-notch quality. So I'll not go into details of what glass wool and all that. I just tell you, whatever material is going on is top-notch. So once it's heated, there is a coefficient of expansion, compression, then ignition. So everything happens. Your exhaust ignites.
Yeah.
Once that hot gases are there, the exhaust ignites.
Yeah.
The fuel which is coming out, the unburned fuel or whatever it is, it ignites. Some bikes you see after deacceleration they throw fire.
Yeah.
They tend to become red hot.
Yeah.
So this happens because that exhaust is designed in such a way with such a material that it could, even when red hot, it should not give any impact on the motor.
So it needs to cool down also.
It needs to cool down also.
Yeah.
So for example, if I copy a exhaust or a SC project, they are using titanium, and I copy it with what you call SS.
Yeah.
So the coefficient of expansion of titanium and SC is totally different. For what do you say? See, there is a material called Delrin in plastic.
Yeah.
So many people will not understand what properties titanium has and what properties this thing. But if you say, if I take Delrin, which is very strong, which is a composition of nylon rim and all that. So Delrin is so strong that a square piece of Delrin, it can take 1 ton to 1.5 ton of pressure.
Oh wow. Okay.
Then it will crack. You take PVC pipe.
Yeah.
You take same diameter of Delrin, you take same diameter of PVC pipe, you just take your hot air gun and you just on it.
Yeah.
The PVC pipe will expand.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Delrin won't expand. The amount of air going from this end to that end, you just put your hand here and you see the difference. How much? So once the expansion is there, the volumetric efficiency of that exhaust changes completely.
Yeah, makes sense.
SC project original, throughout that range from 0 degrees to say 800 degrees, red hot, it stays same.
So stable.
It's a
very
stable
thing. Okay.
system. The exhaust gases which come out with pressure comes out with the same pressure when it is red hot also. But with the aftermarket thing, it doesn't. So what happens? So what is the drawback of it? The drawback of it is there is a turbulence created in the exhaust, in the headers, which in turn sending the exhaust pressure out of that exhaust that something is sucked inside. Because of that wall timing inside, intake and exhaust
And
wall
this is
timing.
heat. This is
There's
hot
heat.
air. Hot
It
air.
sucks inside. So the wall seat is like, it's an airtight thing.
Yeah.
It starts heating up. Once it starts heating up, you start losing your efficiency. That's why people said it will blow your walls.
Yeah.
You use wrong thing will happen.
Yeah.
Am I clear?
Yeah, so I think you've answered the exhaust part also interesting. I think the lesson is that don't put
replicas.
replicas. Okay. So one question that a lot of people asked us was, if I have an aftermarket exhaust with an option of a baffle or removing the baffle, does that impact the performance? Now considering that you said that it's a free flow exhaust but a baffle does restrict air, or is it engineered to not make a difference?
No. See, baffle will make difference in two ways. Once it is that it will reduce noise.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why it's called a baffle.
Yeah.
But it will also increase the back pressure.
Yes.
The amount of it will restrict.
Yes.
It's a restriction. But that restriction is also calculated.
Okay.
With the reduction of noise, the baffle is calculated in such a way that it will give a minimal restriction.
Okay. So this is
But
through
not
fuel
as a,
management.
what you call- yeah.
This is through fuel and air management of the
Yes,
ECM.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
But it doesn't make a difference to your. It shouldn't make a difference to your performance. That's what you're trying to
It
say.
will not. It will not.
Because you're engineered, unless because you're.
It will, but that is very minimum.
Very minimum.
You means you have to be really very, very pro to understand that marginal difference in the after putting a baffle and after not putting a baffle.
Yeah. But does that impact your fuel efficiencies also? Does a baffle?
No.
Would it?
No,
Or it is all accounted? Everything is accounted.
no, nothing happens.
Nothing.
See, there is an oxygen sensor.
That would be
Oxygen sensor. There are many types. Some use dual. See, I will not go into technical, but there are oxygen sensors which measure the amount of oxygen in the exhaust.
Yeah.
So in turn, they will give you the feedback to the ECU so that the mapping film
keeps adapting to that.
Yeah, it's a continuous process.
Okay.
So amount of exhaust oxygen in the headers.
Yeah.
So some are pre-cat, post-cat, some like that are there. So it measures the amount of oxygen which is there. Some come up with a dual band back pressure sensor also.
Okay.
So like that, many things are there in that. So what happens is, if you put a replica, if it goes that, if the oxygen sensor cannot measure it correctly, because it is designed with a correct system, you put something incorrect.
Yeah.
The sensor cannot measure it properly. So what it will do, it will give you a multiple signal, which is the ECU is not programmed to handle.
Yeah.
So what ECU will do, it will go for a fraction of second into its own calculation mode, adjust and in short, it will give you a wrong input.
So another reason why your engine problems will start.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I think you've covered the exhaust part. So if I was to ask you just one simple question on this, which is, what is the best, again, the same thing, what is the best performance mod? Would you answer the same thing, which is change the exhaust system to a quality?
Yes. So performance mode for any motorcycle, for a layman who rides his motorcycle on a Sunday morning or rides his motorcycle every day, for him, I would suggest you put a exhaust, very good quality, very good exhaust which gives a very good sound, and an aftermarket air filter. People say you need iridium spark plugs and all that. All the bikes come with an iridium spark plugs.
Yes.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
Tuning, putting one more thing I forgot. Can I speak on PC5?
Yes, so I'm going to ask you that question once I finish this. So we're done with the intake and exhaust.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, in your opinion, everybody does, I want to have a better lever, I want to have a better looking bike, I want to have better stickers on my bike, I want to have better sliders. What is a good recommended performance upgrade? We'll leave the intake and exhaust aside, but what is it that you think is needed to compensate what all you're doing with the engine and how does it help?
As per me and as per people I know past 20 years, the basic thing for a motorcycle to ride, you need a very good quality frame slider. Apart from you put a good quality exhaust, end kind.
Yeah.
For city riding, you don't need a complete header system.
Yeah.
You don't need it. It gives difference. It will
Reduce the heat and all that. Is that what it is?
reduce the heat and all that. It will give you a very good performance also if you put full headers. But what I have come to understand with all these years is you don't need it
Yeah.
because you are not using it fully.
Yeah.
It's for a higher RPM range. Where are you? It's no use. Okay. So for that, you can see once you put a good quality air filter, you put a good quality exhaust.
Exhaust, yeah.
Then you need a good quality frame slider, which is the most important part. You need a good quality bar end.
Yeah.
You need levers are optional things. Bikes already come with a very good lever, but still, if you want, there are companies which manufacture really good quality levers. But many people say they are very costly. A replica China is available. Once the bike falls down and mishap happens, then people come to know.
Yeah.
I've seen people with this replica of Pazzo levers. What China sells. So one bike fell down. The lever is they are designed to brake at a certain point, not causing any misery or a mishap to the rider.
And it should be able to take you back home also.
Yeah, it should take you back home also. It should cut it. So that Pazzo lever, it broke and it went into that man's hand only.
Okay. Yeah.
The replica Chinese lever.
Yeah.
So I would say that why you want to? You are using such a premium motorcycle. You use a premium. Why you want to put a Chinese product? I mean, I'm not saying China. You put China. China also manufactures very good quality products. So you buy a good quality.
Good quality one. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Buy a good quality product. Then I have covered frame sliders, bar ends. Levers are optional. They are upon this thing.
Yeah.
Then you need a tank pad, good quality tank pad.
Yeah.
You need it. Tank pad is important. Then your storm grips
The tank grips.
Tank grips.
Yeah, thigh grips. That's
Thigh
right.
grips.
Yeah, they help. I believe that.
Yeah. They help a good. They help a lot. Yes. One more thing is who everybody who puts all these parts. One more thing goes into is a radiator guard.
Yeah.
Again, you put a good quality radiator guard. I have seen many people, there are many radiator guards, replica, I will not say replica, they are manufactured using SS material. RNG sells it for 8,000, these guys are selling it for 1,200 rupees and 2,000 rupees SS guard. But SS is not, you see, this is an aluminium core radiator. RNG doesn't make it from aluminium, RNG makes it from SS only or a mild steel. But the design and the quality of that thing, the angle of this, it will not damage your radiator.
So how much air also needs to flow in, everything is calculated.
It's a restriction.
Yeah.
You need to
it's all
cool
calculated.
down.
Yeah.
So like that. So these are the main things.
These are the accessories on the bike.
Yeah, fork sliders.
Yeah.
You need paddock spools.
Yeah.
You need rear swing-arm sliders. So these are protection for the motorcycle, and for the rider, the gear is there.
Yeah. So that is on the looks of the bike. From a engine perspective, what else would you put? I believe you were going to tell us about the PC5 also.
Yeah, the PC5. Yes. PC5 is a power commander. So there are many fuel management systems. These are called as a fuel management system, secondary fuel management systems, or you can say them piggyback. So there are many companies who manufacture it. So people know power commander because it's from a very long time. So let's take power commander. Yes, power commander is a fuel management system in which you can change the amount of fuel going inside the engine.
Yeah.
You can change it according to the the condition, according to the rider's input. Yes, I recommend PC5 for very pro riders basically PC5 are for track use.
Yeah.
PC5, PC4, PC3, whatever is there is for track use. People who use their motorcycle on track, they need to put a PC5, they need to put aftermarket air filter, they need to put a full system exhaust or at least a backup, end cap. So PC5 works as a fuel management in which you can, with the help of a laptop, you can connect it and you can change the air fuel mixture. You can get it as close to as the stoichiometric ratio, which you call is 14:1.
But why doesn't the ECM, the stock? I mean, a lot of people have that misconception that my stock ECM also does the same thing. So what does a PC5 do that the ECM doesn't do?
Yeah, basically ECM does the work. 90% of the 90, it's not 90, it's like 95% riders who are really pro on the track, they have said that we are happy with the stock bike also, it performs. Basically, PC5 says that the power delivery, after you put a PC5, you put a correct map on that, you do correct things on that, it will give you a 15 to 25% of increase in power output, which is too much.
Yeah, that's a lot.
People are using motorcycles now. Current motorcycles are almost 150 plus 200 bhp motorcycles. So you take a basic stock motorcycle which is 200 bhp. You take a very good rider on track. He's not even using 70% of the power of the stock motorcycle. Why you need a PC5 then? Very big question. You need a PC5 on track because the time taken for that rider with the stock map, with the stock ECU to cover that distance with the PC5 programmed well according to the rider's input. If he is doing it in 4 seconds, he can do it in 3.7 seconds.
So you're trying to kill seconds and milliseconds with the PC5.
So that is important on track. It is not important in city.
But does it run better with the PC5? Will your bike run better in the city also with the PC5?
So see, if a bike will run good in city, but it will not run good on a track.
Then okay, it's programmed to do that.
Because it is programmed to run on a city roads. A stock ECU is programmed to run everywhere.
Makes sense.
A PC5 is programmed to do that particular thing only. Means we can program a PC5 to run in city. We can program a PC5 to run on mud. We can program a PC5 to run on
So it's customizable.
It is customizable. Okay. Like customizable, you have modes on the motorcycle. ABC mode or power or sports or dynamic or whatever modes are there. So like that, it's an addition. To all that mode, it's an addition.
Cool. Thanks, Yogesh. I think that's a lot of gyan for our listeners for this week. But yeah, these are parts of the body, parts of the motorcycle that a lot of people ignore, and hopefully these are the things that make your bike run better, other than look better. So thank you so much for your inputs.
Thank you.
It's been a lovely time speaking to you.